In 1957, a huge outsider robot crashes from Circle close to the shoreline of Rockwell, Maine with no memory. Not long after, the Iron Goliath strays into the central area. 9-year-old Hogarth Hughes follows a path of the Timberlands obliteration and liberates the robot, who is trapped in the power links of an electrical substation. Subsequent to being safeguarded by and gotten to know by Hogarth, the Goliath follows him back to his home, where he resides with his bereft mother Annie. Upon their return, the Goliath endeavors to eat the rails off the ties of the close-by railroad tracks. Frightened by an approaching train, Hogarth advises the monster to fix the tracks. The monster endeavors this, yet takes excessively lengthy, making the train crash into his head. Hogarth conceals the harmed robot in their outbuilding, where he finds the robot is self-fixing. Sometime thereafter, Hogarth gets back to the horse shelter with a heap of comic books to peruse to the monster. The Goliath is intrigued with Superman, yet upset when he finds a comic about a malicious robot. Hogarth tells the monster that he can be who you decide to be. Exploring the annihilated substation, U.S. government specialist Kent Mansley finds proof of the Goliath and chooses to proceed with his requests in adjacent Rockwell. Finding a BB weapon Hogarth left close to the substation the night he viewed as the Goliath, Mansley brings up a space for lease at Hogarth's back's home and trails the kid to find out more. He is jumpy about an outsider attack and alarms the U.S. Armed Force to the conceivable presence of the Goliath. Stressed that they will get found out, Hogarth dodges Mansley and takes the Goliath to hippie craftsman dignitary McCoppin, who makes the robot look like one of his works of salvaged material workmanship. When Mansley and Lieutenant General Person Rogard explore. When Mansley and Rogard are gone, Hogarth plays with the Goliath utilizing an air rifle, yet incidentally makes the monster initiate a protection system. Senior member saves Hogarth and indignantly orders the Goliath to leave. However, Hogarth, accepting the monster never intended to hurt him, gives pursue. Senior member sees the air rifle and understands that the Goliath was responding protectively against the weapon. He finds Hogarth on his motorbike and they pursue the Goliath before he can arrive at the town. In Rockwell, the Goliath saves 2 young men, immediately getting on the great side of the stupefied resident observers, and prompting the monster let Hogarth know that he decides not to be a firearm. Sadly, the Goliath is seen by the military and went after. The Goliath escapes with Hogarth until he is shot somewhere near a rocket discharge from AF-86. After crash handling, the Goliath feels that the oblivious Hogarth is dead. Infuriated, it enacts a gigantic stockpile of energy weapons and assaults the military, who are no counterpart for the monster's high-level capability. Mansley deceives Rogard that the robot killed Hogarth, prior to advising him to draw the monster out to the ocean so they can obliterate it with an atomic long-range rocket from the USS Nautilus. Hogarth awakens and appeases the Goliath, facilitating him to deactivate his weapons. He then shows himself to Rogard and his men. Rogard, in the wake of paying attention to senior members' clarification of the Goliath and understanding that Mansley misled him, is going to advise the Nautilus to remain down. Yet Mansley grabs the walkie-talkie and orders the Nautilus to send off the rocket. Understanding the lethal slip-up, Rogard bludgeons Mansley and illuminates him that the rocket will vaporize the monster, yet everybody in Rockwell also. Mansley attempts to get away from Rockwell to save himself, yet the monster stops him and he is captured by the military. At the point when Hogarth educates the monster concerning Rockwell's destiny, the Goliath takes off to capture the rocket. With a grin of fulfillment, contrasting himself with Superman, the Goliath crashes into the rocket, causing a gigantic blast high up in the climate. Individuals of the town perceive the monster as a legend, yet everybody, particularly Hogarth, is profoundly disheartened by the Goliath's penance. Sometime later, Annie and Dignitary start a relationship and senior member constructs a sculpture regarding the Goliath. Hogarth gets a bundle from General Rogard, containing the main piece of the Goliath they found, a little jaw bolt. That evening, Hogarth stirs to a recognizable signaling coming from the bolt, which is attempting to get through his window. He understands the monster is as yet alive and fixing himself someplace, and he opens the window to let the bolt out. On the Langjökull icy mass in Iceland, different pieces of the robot approach the snowdrift where the head rests, eyes sparkling, as the iron monster awakens and grins.